AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
That Uncle Shay Shay show is fire. Cannot fire. The Damon Wayans interview, fire. He has a bunch that's fire. I said the other day, All the Smoke has the best guest. All the Smoke and Shannon Sharpe have the best guests. Nobody, and the interviews is as clumsy as Shannon Sharpe is, somehow he still pulls this, and then the setting, the ambiance is just amazing. So he still has that. He's not just gone. Shannon Sharpe is still here.
I don't feel that way. I agree with you. I think his platform is dope. I think some of the people he sits down with are dope. Gives us a great perspective. Obviously, the trajectory started going like this after the Cat Williams interview, and after that, you start looking at some of the guests he's had. He sat down with some fly joints, right? Just recently sat down with Flaw J. I watched that actually in its entirety. That was better than I expected. So I think he's grown into that space of, being a conversationalist, because I don't know if I want to call them interviewers, but definitely a conversationalist. He ain't got shit on me, but just being that one-on-one guy, I think he's found a lane in the space to do that and be successful with it. Just your credibility starts to come into question, right? And now everybody,
but with the show, like, come on now, thank you, Rasul. Imagine if he brings Joy Taylor and Skip Bayless and they sit down on the next episode. That's the next thumbnail you see pop up on your YouTube.
That's gonna blow out. That's gonna blow people out the water. But that's cute. That's cute. Shannon and Joy. That's cute. That's big shout out to Rasul. I think that's a hell of an idea. But again, you're gonna have to strike for moments like that right now. Right now, for people that you didn't think you was gonna align yourself with, you can't try to align yourself with, the people that's going like this, right? You tried to, you lost. Hold on. You aligned yourself with ESPN. You fucked that up, right? So now you can't align yourself with any new personalities, any personalities that are going like this. For me, I think, like Rasul said, like I think we mentioned earlier, you're gonna have to reband together with somebody. If you trying to strike while the iron's hot, your name is popping still. Why not? I saw the Rejects. I saw Redisputed. I saw that name floating around. Redisputed. Like, why not? It's a hell of an idea. And Fox canceled all that bullshit after they struck out from getting rid of Undisputed in some of their flagship shows. First Things First is still around. And then Cowherd is still around. But if you niggas think that not bringing, and they can't now because they jammed up with all that legal shit, but they would be smart to. You're gonna go after Tony Reali, respectfully. I love Tony, but he's around the horn. Don't grab him, Max. They talking about grabbing him, Max Kellerman, all these kind of guys. Go to Shannon, Skip. Kiss and make up, niggas. You got work to do.
It's not gonna be the same, and I think, like, to your point, that's a flash in the pan. But you need those sparks.
That's what I'm saying. He's gonna have to shoot for those.
Right, but you still try to figure out the gasoline. You figure out the gas while you're figuring the spark out. So episode with Skip Bayless here and there, interviewing Joy Taylor. Remember, Dave Portnoy is rumored to be joining FS1. If he's really running it, Dave Portnoy takes these chances. He does whatever it takes to go viral. He will get Shannon Sharpe on there. And if Shannon Sharpe is on there, it's going to be amazing. Unfiltered. Yo, Shannon, just be yourself. Stop trying to. Now you ain't got to worry about Stephen A. Stephen A., who we had. Is that really your man? Like, come on. But it would make sense if one of these episodes on Uncle Shay Shay, yo, hey, Max, pull up. I want to hear your life story. I had a bad breakup with ESPN. You had a bad breakup with ESPN. Let's share some thoughts. Mm-hmm. There's too many guests. I don't need ESPN. I'm ESPN adjacent. That's what YouTube is. Cam Newton is on fire on YouTube.
Going crazy.
And I don't even watch his channel.
Shout out Cam.
Once you find your core audience, it's over. Shannon Sharpe has a core audience. It's over. It's like in terms of it's a wrap, meaning like he got the money coming in no matter what. Everybody's trying to catch up to him if that's the case.
The nightcap thing is huge still too. People still love that show.
Nightcap is trash. Be honest. I'm keeping it thorough with y'all. Unless I need to, if it's gonna be nightcap, Chad, you guys don't take it seriously enough for me. When you break down football, man. Get a moderator in there. Like I won't like y'all play football, bro. That's the part to me that's you got two football guys just talking about anything and not football. It doesn't like we're gonna be, we're gonna blow up and it's based on New York City basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go from there. But they are from football and they don't talk about anything about, they could even comment on Cam and Gilly the Kid. You know what's gonna happen? Gilly might snap on you. Cam might snap on you. Well, guess what? Don't talk back about them. Just they're too smart. His name is way too viral to not keep going on YouTube. Shannon, just like you said, got to calm down. I don't know if he's on roids, HGH, whatever it is, whatever that shit is you want, Shannon, calm it down, brother.
Something's fucking with your decision-making skills, man. Something is in an imbalance. Something's going on, bro. Because you're not making the right choices, man. It's not, and you had everything lined up for you to be a, for me, I felt like he could be bigger than Stephen A. Just the trajectory he was on, he could be bigger than him if it kept going like this.
Well, so let's ask.
And I don't know what bigger means, pause, but
right. No. That's what you have. That's what I want to ask you. What does that mean?
I mean, that's a good question. I'm not sure what that means because, like, so for instance, Stephen A. is such a huge figure now that because he has an interest in acting, he could dabble in that. Right. Because he has an interest in politics, they opening the door for that. What I'm saying is that whatever Shannon had a burning desire to do, that we don't know. I never knew Stephen A. was so heavily committed to politics, right? I didn't know that he enjoyed the soap operas until we start learning more and more about him, and now his stardom and fame has grown to such a level that he's opening the door and letting people in. I just feel like Shannon was on his way to that level to now we start learning more and more about who he is, what his likes are, what his dislikes. You know what I'm saying? Because he was doing content with Ronnie Coleman in the gym. He was lifting with Ronnie Coleman. He was doing different things, right? Just different content. And I'm like, he could still do that. But I thought with the addition of ESPN, with that backing and just everybody that was on board with him, all he could do was just go to the top. And I think he would have been able to rival what Stephen A. got going on right now, for sure.
I don't. Stephen A. Smith was a slick dude from New York, bro. Shannon ain't touching that. He knows how the bread is buttered. Like, he's proven it time and time again. He's been through some controversy, never done anything like this. It got to the point where he was saying, you don't call me SAS, because they were saying that's, that if you break down that acronym, you could split it into the echelon assault. So he's way more self-aware than Shannon Sharpe. When you have someone who's that famous and is self-aware, he knows what he's doing. He knows what every word that he's using. He knows it. Shannon Sharpe just knows, I'm going viral. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna go viral. It's like, okay, but are you okay with what happens 2, 3, 4, 5 steps down the line? All right, I'm showing you what's gonna happen. It's like, yeah, of course I am. It's like, yeah, you too gung ho. You really don't. You ain't ready.
You really don't know.
Stephen A. He's from New York City. We've seen 4 or 5 steps down the line. If you really interact and mingle with everybody, if you don't know, somebody's gonna put you on. That's how this is. And when you don't, you learn the hard way. But it's just different here. Even though bullshit that gets all crazy in New York. That's what it is. You play cool or you fooling dudes all day. That's what it is in New York City. And Shannon Sharpe, he fooled himself. You know what I'm saying? Bro, you already cool being yourself. That's the part that you always forget. Once you make it, that you cool now, bro. You don't get it. You made it. You did it. And he wasn't Stephen A. He knew, like, yo, I'm gonna go. I can't own ESPN. I'm gonna get it. They're gonna give me my shares, the stock options, whatever it is. I killed the game already. Stephen A. also knows he can't kill YouTube like Shannon Sharpe. I'm gonna stay over here. I'm gonna let them keep paying. That's what my boss. I'm gonna make as long as my boss is making money. People laugh at that, but that's his lane. Some people cannot be entrepreneurs on that level. You know, I know he wants to promote that, and he contradicts himself when it comes to entrepreneurism and capitalism. But Shannon Sharpe is his own independent entity away from ESPN. He can do that. I don't know if Stephen A. Smith can do that, but as far as a superstar face of the Disney branch, Stephen A. did that. I mean, that's insane.
We're gonna be singing a different tune if Stephen A. get a late night show, right? If he's a Colbert or a Fallon or a Leno or a Letterman or things like that, right? That that now you rubbing up against, and that's what I mean. Like, you don't think Stephen A. could kill the YouTube game? That's cool, but linear television, like, he knows that lane through and through, and that's why he makes the choices that he makes. That's why he makes the decisions that he makes. Like, I know it's probably small. This is probably a small thing, but it's the first time we've ever seen Stephen A. Smith's daughter. Have you ever seen Stephen A. Smith's daughter? Unless you Googled it. Have you ever seen her on TV? Like, hello? We ever seen it? No. Carmen, sisters, always mentioning Carmen. The last few years is the only time we've actually been able to see her. My point is that he's reaching a status now. His nephew, another one, that banter between them and that relationship and us being exposed to, you know, how they interact and shit like that. All of that stuff ain't happening for no reason. He's getting to a place now where, like, I'm starting to put my family on. I want to, you know, create this brand and keep building this brand. I just think Shannon was on his way there, but Stephen A. knows the ins and outs of the do's and don'ts. Shannon's still learning that. Stephen A. Smith grew up in TV. Shannon grew up in the NFL, and he's trying to figure this shit out now. Regardless if we think he has some, you know, experience, Stephen A.'s been in this shit, like he always says, 30, 40 years. Also, Shannon can't say that.
Also, I think as much of a caricature Stephen A. Smith is, we've seen levels of authenticity. Like, there's the fake realness that New York bravado projects. You know, when he does get serious, we've seen it. We've seen him get, like, shook, like, shut down, and he had to come back from that as a father, and like he got shook down by LeBron. So you know what it is with Shannon Sharpe? Now that I'm saying that, as much of a caricature as Stephen A. Smith is, somehow he comes off, even if it's slightly bit, more authentic than Shannon Sharpe. And he comes off more authentic on Uncle Shay Shay. Because even on the nightcap shit, it's this yo, you know what I do, open 315 from 345, whatever he said, he cracked their legs open, and now what? Like, it's always this show. But when he's humbled on Uncle Shay, he can't wild out because these are mega stars he's interviewing. He ain't right. You can't do that's A-list. And that's when he's more authentic. So if he leans more into that bag.
So you just said something that made me spark something in me, bro. A-list. How does this goofy get a chance to sit with A-list?
Well,
where's is there is he a highly respected figure? Do we got it fucked up? Does his peers and people, because I don't know if Shannon is, I mean, he was an A-list football player, right? Like, just in terms of in that era, people knew who he was. I'm talking about right now. If in our eyes, some of the decision making, some of how he's moving, the inauthentic, being inauthentic, like you said, if you could see that, then other people could see that as well. His cachet must be up there if he's sitting with these A-list. I'm trying to figure that out. Where does that come from? How does he align himself with that?
I think he was on fire at FS1, and that's how they were able. Remember, he created that show on FS1, and they owned it. They gave it to him once he left, so he was able to cultivate the relationships there because he was on fire on social media. So that's how they were able to go, Uncle Shay Shay. And all of a sudden, you start looking at the numbers. That's what they do. But then when they sit down, that's not the same Shannon Sharpe. Like, that's really Shannon Sharpe when he's sitting down talking to them. Now the interview it takes on a life of its own, which is what we always talk about. When we watch Are We Live Flee, that's its own thing. Like, it feels different. So it's the same thing with Uncle Shay Shay. That's when he for whatever reason he knew to tap into that. Like, we haven't seen Gilbert Arenas really do that. Interview somebody like, we have actually, but it doesn't. He didn't cultivate it.
Great segue.
AllBall TV. They scared, but I'm not. They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.